Let's dive into this energy of the full moon that's being manifested on the top of this beautiful, beautiful time of the now, right? We're going to be getting into some very delicious energy. We're going to get some energy set in the realm so that we can digest each other. Okay. Sorry for coming on a little tardy to my life, but just honoring my energy and allowing myself to take the time necessary to prepare for the all. Sorry for the noise. I'm actually about to partake in some adult things here. But welcome into the Earthangel tribe. If you are here, it is not by coincidence. Okay? This container is for Earth Angels, chosen ones, truth walkers, those who are seeking and finding their soul core frequency this lifetime. Okay. Welcome in, Earth Angels. Please gather with your tea, gather with your smokes, gather with whatever satisfies you as you prepare to dive into this channeling with me, okay? Thank you for being here. I do have gathered here a multitude of messages regarding this full moon. It will be rising at 5:09 p.m., okay? This moon has an astrological energy of Cancer. And though we can know and sense Cancer to be highly emotional, this is a frequency of stability, the stillness that's within the crab, the intelligence, okay? But on top of that, astronomically, this time is known to be in Leo energy. And that is extremely potent, right, family? This moon will be best seen at dusk. And what is dusk? Look it up. Just kidding. And this will be the time that falls right after the evening, okay? Right as the sun begins to, this is after the sun sets, okay, under the horizon. And then we'll see dusk, okay? And if I'm not mistaken, this moon was also being able to be seen visibly by eye between the 29th, 30th, 31st, today, as well as tomorrow, really in the 31st, 1st, 2nd range. But I do want to point out some things that I heard about the energy. When you're wanting to possess, manifest, command this energy in its time, that though it can be tapped into at any time, you know, there's different potencies along the earth, right? And, you know, time frames and seasons. So within this particular frame and any of the frames you want to stick to, as today is February 1st, this would be the most potent day to reach into the energy of the full moon and grasp what it is that you want to attain. But the next part of this would be 3 days before, the day of, and 3 days after. Okay, so if you keep that in mind, Try to keep your projects in line with that. I think that'll keep you in a very good space, okay? I do want to say that I hope you all are keeping safe with the abundant snowfall that is happening in this time. I got to take a look into a few states and it's like, wow. This moon typically signifies like the past moon in December, because winter in times past could have been seen on the low vibrational side as scarce, as hibernation, a time to just sleep through, right? um, a time for, give it to me, Spirit. What is this word that keeps wanting to slip off of my tongue? Fragility, right? A time for survival instinct. A time for things to die. Okay? So here gathered below me, if you see me glancing down on my notes that I have taken. It's a lot of them, but bear with me. We're going to get through it, okay? And I'm not going to make this one. Because this full moon on February 1st is combined with not only the astrological energy of Cancer, but the astronomical energy of the Leo, we are here to look at what we're seeing in the skies. How there will be a Regalis, which is one of the brightest stars in the Leo constellation, being able to see with the naked eye here. Okay. This particular portion of the Leo constellation represents what you would call the actual heart of the lion. Okay, so this is a time to be brave at heart, to be courageous, to keep your heart chakra strong, clear, pure. Okay. But also right next to this particular heart of the lion, you will also be able to sight, typically by telescopic view, the beehive cluster. And the beehive cluster is about 1,000 stars that are clustered together, okay? So this is a very special time for viewing this. This is a very special time to have the full moon. Also in the, I'm hearing atmospheric calibration along with the heart of the lion, okay? This star represented in the heart of the lion constellation is associated with power. It's associated with success. It's associated with leadership, okay? A lot of the things that Leo's strength is built on. Entitled with this was a keyword of the little king, but it made me think of the boy king, King Tut to be precise, okay? With this being said, with this power of the lion, okay, you are a watcher of the north, okay, a guardian of the sky. Does that resonate for you? So this star promises fame. It promises high office. It also promises prosperity. Thank you for your like and your presence. But this star can also wipe away all that was promised as well. Okay, there could be a sudden fall from this if you're already represented in this energy. If this said power is not taken with integrity, okay? So, one of the most strongest messages from this moon is that some things can't survive. It won't survive. It will not survive. This particular full moon happening on today. So there may have been a lot of energy up in the air. Even for myself, just to be extremely honest, there has been a lot of clearing happening on my family's line, on my, I would say, maternal bloodline. And it's deep. It's powerful. It hurts, but it's necessary. It's clarifying, okay? And it's willed. And I only want what's willed for me, okay? So with some places that are experiencing this heavy snowfall, so storms, winter weather warnings, okay? We are left to sit in our homes. We are left, even some of us probably stuck at our jobs, okay? Stuck in our cars, trying to get out of snowstorms. But this has also left you to recognize the stillness that is available in the power of the winter. I'm hearing the song, which does not even that I would understand correlate to this, but I'm hearing I'm hearing it as a song, but it's really just a phrase of stopping and staring. And I'm seeing this as different ways of just taking the time to pause and see how this winter season is coming, into fruition for you. How you are recalibrating, and also to just witness the winter instead of just, oh, it's cold, oh, it's so much snow, but to actually sit there and to be like, wow, there is actually a lot of self-analyzation that needs to happen here, a lot of more stillness and going within that needs to happen here, a lot of unconscious and subconscious patterning that needs repatterning here. So it's just a lot of time to take in the understanding of what is happening in the now, okay? This full moon is here to teach that rest is an active spiritual force, okay? As they say that nothing is truly at rest, right? Everything vibrates. And I just did a video on this, how everything vibrates. And if that if that particular statement is a vibratory experience for you, does bring on vibratory sensations for you, I did post another video about actually seeing the literal vibrations. Are you able to slow yourself down? Your body, your heart, your mind, your pineal, and come into this space of actually seeing, feeling, even tasting the vibrations around you, okay? So the recalibration is taking inventory of life as it is, okay? This is without the illusions. I remember I'd have this friend that would say to me often, and I knew that it was like a call to self, and an X marks the spot, like a checkpoint. Every time I needed a reality check when I was going through crazy shit on this path. And my friend would say, see life for what it is, okay? Realize what's in front of you. Don't create an illusion here. Don't create a fantasy here. This does not mean don't cause yourself to dream or to bring yourself into this beautiful fanatical moments, but this is to really sit back and really look at what's in front of you without rose-colored glasses, okay? That is what I'm saying. And to realize also that within this time, that if nothing seems to be moving right now, it's because something is forming right now. It's not ready to move. There's still energy that's building for the movement. Okay? There's still maybe some integration that's happening here. Maybe there's one more deep meditation of the inner child that needs to be sought here. Okay? Meeting yourself face to face at that very point in which you experienced your first true winter. Okay? Your first true calibration. Your first true step into what is no longer elusive. Okay? So this moon is here to ask, for you to ask for yourself, am I rushing where more incubation, where more integration is necessary for my blueprint? Okay? When wisdom arrives for you in this space, the performance for all other things ends. Okay? You become the mother you always wanted to be. You become the friend you've always thought yourself to be. You become your highest self. You become this creation of the highest creator that you've always sensed and known and welcomed into your now self. Okay? The time is now. The new you, the true you begins here. Okay? This full moon here is a representation of quiet knowing, not loud manifestation. The quiet knowing, not loud manifestation. This is the time to continue building those little breadcrumbs, okay? Those little mustard seeds that lead into this big jungle of mustard seed freaking pats for you, right? You're literally selling the mustard seeds to your neighbors because you've planted so many seeds along the way. Okay? I remember the first time in actual life, besides looking it up, that I saw a mustard seed. An old friend of mine was growing mustard greens in her yard. I believe that's what she was growing. And I did not see the actual greens because it had already finished growing. But what was left were little pods. Some plants that grow have very strange stages. You're like, that's what you turned into once you finished out? But yeah, it turns very small, almost microscopic, like I'd say 4 pieces of sand being put together. I'm trying to gather something to show you, but there's only like little ash here. But yes, so just saying that to say that messages of faith have coming through here. But there was a deeper message here about this mustard seed. Yeah, the little tidbits of growing and growing and growing. Okay? You're not here to perform, you're here to be. So the next thing I want to talk about is the Anti-Illision moon, okay? It's here to strip away, like I said, the fantasy, to reveal the truth, okay? To reveal the truth to you that if things have only existed here, thrived here, because you kept helping, because you kept having to explain, because you kept having to keep warm, having to nurture, having to coddle, it is melting away. It is given to the coldness. Okay? You are allowed clarity without drama. The drama of explanation. Explanation is drama sometimes. Because things that are understood don't need to be explained, right? And a lot of hoping because things should be, right? A lot of, and when I say keeping it warm, it made me think of like when the eggs are kept warm. Okay. And this is by typically the parent, not the artificial incubation system, but typically by, parent, A or B, mama, daddy. And they're there to keep the egg warm, right? But once the baby is hatched and they come out, the mama isn't still hovering over the little baby shell, right? At some point, the baby is left to actually go along this beautiful rites of passage that become the adult. And this is why I want to bring into this particular moment of allowing things to be stripped away when they cannot survive without you keeping it warm, without you explaining to it, without you keeping it kept. It must fall away. Okay? It has to either mature and learn the factors of growing itself up, or it will do away with. It will not survive even natural selection, right? Survival of the fittest. Because every step of the way, you need my explaining. Every step of the way, you need my knowing. Every step of the way, you need whatever it is that I have been providing for you along the path to keep you on the straight and narrow. When at some point you have to walk and stand in your obedience, your righteousness, your commands of the self, your self-authority to be who it is that you are walking into the path to be, right? So this will lead into the loss of a lot of things that we'll be speaking on into the next point, okay? But the cold is here to represent compression of the life force, okay? The cold is representing contraction, okay? Your memory, okay? Activations of the realm of the non-negotiations, okay? This is a non-negotiational period for you, okay? There is no manifestation hacks happening here. There's no one, what is that? What is that term? It's like stealing your divine will, but there's a full word for it, but it's not coming to me. I'm hearing like hijacking and all type of stuff. I'm like, that is not what I'm looking for. It is a spiritual hijack though. But yes, just understanding too that this is not a time as well for emotional bargaining. And when I say that, it's just like that. It's like, I'm not here to call you. I'm not here to be. And this is something I had to say to like a previous boss. I was like, I am not their self-regulator. And he's like, but you kind of are. I'm like, but I'm really not. Because you have to be that for yourself. I'm here to guide you into coping mechanisms that worked for me and that I may have heard of that worked for others, right? And that I may sense may work for you by way of being in your energy and spirit guiding me into saying, hey, tell this person that, and kindly suggest this gently, but yeah, it's just like, we are not bargaining here, okay? We are going for what's ours. There's no bargains. Okay, so let's see what else is going to be happening here. We can move on to the next page. Finally, getting close to closing this out. And this particular time and energy is a time to ask yourself, what in me exists when no one responds, okay? When there is no response from anyone around me, what inside me exists, right? Who am I when I'm not cuddling? Who am I when I'm keeping my actual self warm? Who am I when truths, my deepest truths are being revealed to me, okay? When I'm keeping myself instead of everything else around me, okay? When I stop having to explain to myself of why I'm taking these actions, okay? I know who I am. I know where I'm going. I don't have to constantly explain that to myself, okay? So the final thing that I wanted to speak of about how this moon freezes time. This moon is colder than a motherfucker, okay? Some of you may be experiencing ice, which I remember experiencing ice once, and I had to drive home from work once. And I was like, no thank you ever again. An 8-minute drive home took 45 minutes on ice. Mind you, the only other like kind of transportation next to me on the road was maybe like one other car behind me after some time passed, and then an 18-wheeler that was also sliding on the ice, going slower than me. And I was probably going like 5 miles per hour, like literally. So y'all stay warm, stay safe. So this time, you may find that your plans are being stalled. I mean, booty calls. I'm seeing conference calls, like in person, or even the ones over like Zoom and things where like the snow is so heavy, it's knocking out power in some places, right? Freezing things, pipes being frozen, not being able to get water out, and not being proactive beforehand to, save water for yourself. So, be proactive about that, okay? You may be experiencing the coldness of silence from others, okay? Or that you may feel like when you're looking out into your 3D physical view and like reality that nothing is happening, nothing is moving, and things are at rest, right? But as we said, nothing rests. Everything vibrates, okay? And make sure you go check out that video. Okay? Time is at a pause if you're experiencing these things, so that things can be recalibrated not only within you, but around you, okay? False timelines are cracking here. And as I was writing this, I was seeing like a glass being placed into the freezer, or even a wine bottle, because I've had wine bottles crack into the freezer where the pressure just gets so massive that it cracks, okay? There's a new energy that is coming in. There are truths that want to be revealed through the cracks, okay? So allow this freezing to take place. Allow this stillness where you're still the main focus of vibratory energy to come through for you, okay? And even I'm hearing allow yourself to be cracked by the pressures of your environment, okay? Internally, externally. And these timelines are being cracked. And these, could be shared or individual timelines, okay? Feeling strongly on the shared. So a timeline you may have had with a friend, a family member, a lover, your older version of self, okay? It's not here to destroy, but to disallow the continued feeding of what wants to be cracked within that, which is being, dissipated in this moment, okay? What is impossible to expand? What is impossible to hold your capacity, right? Because, wow, I'm hearing that humans are containers. We do have a choice on how far we choose to expand. And some people, some places, some energies will not be able to expand to your capacity. Okay? That is what I'm hearing here. So take heed. This is the time to take inventory of how energy is being expanded. Okay? How some desires that were deeply rooted are now becoming deeply irrelevant. Okay? Things are losing charge of you, of the charge you wanted to take in it. Okay, this could be like project. You're like, hey, I really want to do this particular passion project, and then after doing like further research or digesting other deeper passions, you're like, you know what? This is no longer a prioritization for me. Okay, this is a time where no closure speeches are necessary. Okay, it's just a time where no more energy is being expounded from you for anything that's not necessary for your growth, your expansion, your blueprint. Okay? So, what the moon hidden lesson here is, you do not, will not, and shall not need to chase what is meant to survive you. Okay? Letting the cold release what cannot endure. Letting what remains become your future. Okay? What survives you is what is innately here to be. What is eternally, I'm hearing exponentially, here for you. Infinity and beyond. If you find that particular things disappear while you're in this stillness, while you're in this time of freeze, while you can't contact whoever you couldn't contact before the freeze came in, it was never meant to walk with you. It was never meant to thaw with you. It was never meant to go through your spring, summer, fall, next winter with you. Okay? This applies to all relationships, all desires, all identities, all old versions of self. Okay? You aren't required to chase love. You aren't required to chase the outcomes. Okay? You aren't required to chase belonging. You're not even required to chase clarity that comes to you. We know that. Okay? When you stop chasing, the embodiment of the truth responds. It reacts. It reassures. It reconditions. And belonging does not require force. Okay? And you'll also find that when you stop chasing, that This deep embodiment of the truth, okay, brings in a delicious settling of your nervous system, right? Even your chakras can breathe. They can exhale. There's so much uptight, pent up energy, okay? The conservation of your womb energy for divine feminines here, okay, is embodied. Life begins to organize, and reality, okay, is no longer an illusion for you. And with that being said, as life organizes and reality is no longer elusive for you, what now survives this winter and any and every winter moving forward is now a part of your now future, okay? Take these full moons seriously. Take your time today to take inventory of every single relationship that's connected to your now blueprint. Okay? Come to a space of meditative clarity. Okay? This is a time for energetic population. This is a time to look at the stories you've been telling yourself, others have been telling you, and what's actually being realized there. Not what's being told, but what's actually being realized there. Okay? So in this Leo energy, in this Cancer energy of this full moon, most deepest potency at moonrise, have your things that you want to release as well as harvest, your well intentions, your well wishes, and declare and decree, burn away, sear, bring in and recalibrate on this full moon. It's time to become your truest self now. You deserve that. Okay? This was a deeply channeled message. I was not guided to do any oracle or tarot cards with this message, though I do read with some of my messages. I, for myself, am taking this energy and have been, as I spoke in the beginning of this live, going through a lot of deep emotional repatternings and assessments of the maternal bloodline. And it's deep cleansing and transformation happening here. It's necessary. And as I said, it can hurt. It can be very hurtful. But the growth, the massive expansion that comes after the pain is so sweet. So yes, I'm actually going to be hopping back on because I've been guided to do a few messages today. I'm on a leave from work, my actual 3D job, as I am leaping out of that and taking hold of my life, moving into my deepest, most monumental life path. And actually to join me. Not on leave, but with stepping into your most blissful life path, allowing that for yourself. I've had such a breath of fresh air enjoying myself without work being on my mind. Actual clocking in somewhere. I don't enjoy that. And I don't phantom that anyone watching this video does. You know? This is for those of us who seek to be in our most highest timeline, our most highest freedom, our most highest sovereignty. This is huge. Grand Rising. How you doing, brother? Much love. And this moon is signifying a lot of cleansing that needs to happen. A lot of inner standing. Of who you truly are. Of the inventory of who really is around you. Who is really here to ascend with you, through you. And who is here as a deterrent. Okay? So take a deep inhale with me on the count of 3 as we inhale everything that January has taught us, to exhale into everything that February is here to now teach. 1, 2, inhale, 3. And let's release. Love you, Earth fam. Take care of yourselves. Stay deeply and divinely guided by your highest self in this season. Stay in your high vibration. Stay in recalibration. Stay in high love. Much peace, love, and respect. And make sure you hop on next with me if you want to check out my next love reading. Mwah. Ashe, peace to you. Thank you for tapping in. I'll hop back on shortly.